everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 9. I nearly said the wrong season, me looking like an absolute idiot. But anyway, we are for the pre-season race, the second pre-season race of the season, and we go to a track that's been updated on this year's game to its real-life replica, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, for the Spanish Grand Prix. My name is GeForce, your commentator as always. And I'm joined by someone different this week. His first commentary for us at VSL. It is our Tier 2 commentator, Moore. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, and I'm really pumped to be here for the second pre-season race, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute banger from what I've seen in the first pre-season race.
Yes, indeed. Glad to have you on board. It's situated in Barcelona. Obviously, every race since 1992 is known for a testing circuit for many years now, due to its variety of slow and fast corners and long straights. The real-life Grand Prix has 66 laps, but obviously we'll be doing a 50% race tonight. Last week we noticed that there was no damage. Well, this week is all changed. It's going to be dry weather as always. We're not changing that from last week, but we got reduced damage, no strict corner cutting, safety car is off, and formation lap on. And there's certain drivers that we don't know the pace yet that are in this lobby tonight, and there's some drivers that didn't do as well last week that need to show us what they can do.
Yeah, and I mean, with the safety car being turned off and the weather being preset to dry conditions, it's just going to be absolutely flat out pushing from these drivers to show the admins what they're made of and what division they can get into with their pace.
Exactly. So without further ado, I think we have loaded into the lobby now, so we will get started as well, and we will go through the results from last week as well, because that will be quite interesting to talk about. So we were at Mexico City last week, as Moore was alluding to, and it was Tony who started last and went on to win that race, which was absolutely incredible. He said he wanted to do a last to first challenge, and he proved that last week. And then we had Slenderman that finished in second, Matter in third, but both of those two are not racing tonight. Tony is though. We got one of our new drivers actually. He's not here tonight, but we obviously know what tier he's going to be in. Hyper Dark Shadow, he did a fantastic job, starting from 6th place and came all the way to finish in 4th position. And obviously some of the drivers we know about, some of the drivers we don't know, and we always want the new drivers to do well, and he was one of those drivers that was quick right off the bat. And can you see drivers like Hyper Dark Shadow challenge the Old Guns, for example, for the title in Tier 1?
Yeah, I definitely think you can. You know, with leagues like this always growing and growing, attracting more drivers like that who can just put in absolutely dominating performance such as that. You obviously want to get them in the top tier and fighting with the best drivers you have in this league. And yeah, that's exactly what these races are for, to show that they can battle with the rest of these drivers and get themselves to the top tier, hopefully.
Yes, let's talk about the drivers that we have tonight. Obviously, Yuri is back. He didn't have a good race last week, so he is here. Hopefully he doesn't get involved in many spins. We got Lee, who's making his first appearance of the season. Ryan Berry as well. He was here last season. Fraser was here last week as well. He DNF'd, unfortunately, so we haven't had a chance to see his pace. We got Risky as well. Risky, for those of you that don't know, he is the owner of VSL as well, so one of the high pedigree names on this list. We have Cam, who also raced last week. George, who raced last season. We got Tony, who raced last season as well and last week. And we just had Pete join the lobby out of the ones who raced last week. So there we go. Out of the ones who were here last season, who are making their debuts tonight, we got Newgarden, who is also making his first appearance of the season. But let's talk about the new drivers to VSL. We got ADRT Scott. We got Gareth Hall. Now, I know Gareth Hall. He is an absolute quick driver on his day as well, and they can produce some very surprising results in a good way as well. Absolutely good guy. He's also a commentator as well. But he's proven to me that he could commentate and race as well, just as nice. So good to have him here. We have a driver who I haven't heard of, TL44S _ I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that name, but I will cross that bridge once we get to it. We have Harry B, R25, a driver that I've known in many leagues, who is here tonight. Expect him to be quick right off the bat. We've got Urbany, I think that's how you say it. Urbany in the Alpine tonight. He's new, and there's drivers. We got Shane as well, Leo, I think it's Leo. And of course we got Timo, who was our runner-up from last season in the VSL Championship. So good to have some new drivers on board as well. And obviously, since you're commentating on Tier 2 this season, more chance to see some of these drivers for the first time that you could be commentating on in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that they can hopefully produce some action, even with being in the same lobby as a couple of Tier 1 guys. Hopefully they can put in a decently competitive result and show everyone how it's done. But I was just riding on board with NZL Cam there, and the Aston Martin of LRE Timo, I think he might have desync or something, because he absolutely rammed him off the track.
That is not good to have desync if it is desync, but yeah, that is unfortunate. But hopefully he hasn't lost that much time. He's only about almost 2/10 of a pole. Timo is on pole position right now with a 1:17.4. Expect lap times, I think, to be a lot quicker on this game. And obviously this track is quite similar in terms of lap times compared to obviously what we saw in Mexico last week. But the track is a little bit more difficult. Obviously turn 10 is a lot different compared to previous games as well, more realistic, and I like it. I absolutely prefer it as well. Ahmed is here tonight as well, who's making his return to VSL as well, his first pitch of the season too. Going towards, he's invalidated his lap. Tut, Ahmed, as you go past the newly built turn 10, and look how nice it is, more absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super flowing corner, and you can just carry so much speed going into their brake as late as you like, and it's definitely a lot different to the old turn 10 hairpin, which then brought you into a super slow section in the third sector, and it was a bit ruining for the racing. But now with the super flowy turn 10, 11, 12 complex, you can see a lot more overtakes. You can see side by side going through all three of those corners, and drivers battling even in the third sector. So I think it's a great addition to this track, so we can see battling through every sector of this circuit.
Yes, I'm trying to find someone that you could go on board with and do a lap, because I've done many hot laps on a VSL during my time, so I'm going to see if I can find someone who's the most furthest, basically close to starting a lap. I think Speed Knighton is about to start his run, and he will take us for a lap around the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. Would you like to take us through this lap from Speed Knighton?
Well, let's go right in. Speed Knighton now going through turn 16 to begin his first lap time of the session in the McLaren, and it's a long run down to turn 1. You can see speeds of 320 kilometers and over going into here. A sharp braking point into turn 1 with those sausage curbs on the inside. You really don't want to be touching those too much, as they can really disturb your racing line. A nice flowing run through turn 3 and out into turn 4. Lots of flowing corners on this track, and you really have to try and carry as much speed as you can while also getting a decent exit, as you can see out of turn 5 now. Very crucial exit as we run up the hill into turn 7 and 8. You don't want to touch that long yellow sausage curb on the inside of turn 8, as you can bottom out on it quite easily and it can send you spinning. We're now coming down to the all new turn 10. As you'll see here, a very nice flowing line through here, hitting the apex and touching those yellow sausage curbs, getting on the power as soon as possible, and then once again going up a hill into turn 12. We come into the final sector. It's a very low speed corners through here, as you can see the chicane of turn 14 and 15, and then we round it out with the final turn of turn 16. What kind of time is it going to be from Speed Knightington? It's going to be a 1 minute 18.9, and that is going to put him P9 in this qualifying session, with plenty of people yet to set a lap time.
Yeah, still more time to find from speed 19, but obviously it is the early part of the session. Still more chance for the track to evolve. And whilst we were on board with speed 19, by the way, Tony got disqualified for going the wrong way, and the other Williams, actually no, Tony might be in the Red Bull tonight, but another blue car of Lee had a spin going through turn 3 on cue. So that's not good from Lee, but obviously some of these guys, it's their first proper 50% race on this game, and with medium traction and no traction at all, it's a lot harder on this game compared to previous games, obviously due to the new handling models that these drivers have got to contend with as well. We did see quite a few spinners last week, but they'll be more punished for it, obviously due to reduced damage compared to the no damage that we saw last week. We've got Risky, who is setting his lap. We've got Harry B with a 117.2. What a lap time from him. Let's see if anyone else is about to cross the line. We got both of the McLarens going into the pits. We've got, I think, Ahmed in the pits as well. I'm just seeing who's going to be thirdest to finish off a lap. Might be the two. Actually, it's Scott, actually, one of our new drivers. So we'll see. He's about 2 tenths up in the middle sector. Can he find more time in the final sector? 117.843. Just under 2 tenths improvement for him. Risky. He manages 4th now. So he manages to pit Scott to 4th position. And it's a few thousandths difference. Not even that. That's just insanely close between the two of them. We've got, I think, the other Williams going into the pits, I think. And I think Cam's going into the pits as well. Yes, he did, because he is invalidated. Ryan Berry, interestingly, he's on 5-lap old softs. Interesting tactic from him, but I can see where he's coming from. But you're probably going to the pits soon. Only 15th for now. And that is all at the moment, unless Newgarden could do anything. Up to the line, 119.294, could only manage 16th. But the gaps, especially between P3 to P7, really, really close as well. And there's a lot of new drivers. Obviously, Speed Quinn's one of our new drivers as well. Do not forget him. So pretty much more from P3 to P7, close all around. So it's going to be very, very intense.
Yeah, it looks like there's a few pockets of close gaps, as you said, P3 to P7, but also P12 to P16 is very close, just separated by 4 tenths. So we could have 2 little races going on in the Grand Prix between some of the drivers towards the top, but also towards the back end, because as you can see within those 2 groups, the gaps are definitely very close. And obviously the fastest time so far just about dipping into the 117.2s. I think we could definitely see some drivers getting into the 116s in this session. And obviously the world record on PlayStation is within the, I think it's the high 115, so getting within 1 second of the world record, that's very quick. So let's hope some of these drivers can get into those crucial 1 minute 16s.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell from this group, I think, who's going to do it. But Harry B, I think, is the closest. Team obviously was very close to Casper last season, so I expect him to be up there as well. But obviously a few people just find footing. A few people have only got the game recently as well, so obviously they haven't had enough time to practice for the new game as well. A few more people going on their outlaps. Interestingly, they're going early, as I found a lot on this game, going a lot earlier than usual, because there's a lot of traffic towards the end, because as we discussed last week with Mr. Evil Dragon, he's probably still watching this, but free tyre choice on this year's game. They don't have to start on the soft compounded tyres. Most people, though, would tend to start on the medium compounded tyres, and I did note the strategy before starting the stream today, and it's one of those tracks where the mediums to hards are not the fastest strategy. The fastest strategy is actually starting on the softs and going on the hards, but knowing them, people want to get rid of the soft straight away or not touch the softs at all, but we'll have to wait and see. Pete is on a lap right now, and we also got Cam, who's on a lap right now in 3rd. Well, I just went on board with him, and I didn't see his sector 1 split, which was very annoying there, but he's on a run anyway, and he's got to find 4 attempts to get within Harry's time of a 117.2. He's got to find 2 attempts to be within 117.4. We got a spinner. That is N8 Ahmed, who spun just before the final corner, the double chicane. So he's going backwards. Oh, he got disqualified. I was about to say, don't go the wrong way, you get disqualified. And look at that, more. He just did it.
Yeah, I think the game is very strict with going backwards on this game. If you're going backwards for even a second to try and spin your car around. Sorry, I've just got distracted there because Cam was on a lap. He was going through turn 10 and he was mid-apex and his wheel just completely popped off of his car. I have absolutely no idea what's gone on there. He hasn't touched the wall.
Well. Speed Knight binned it in 14th, so I wonder more if they had a bit of a coming together, because I see them both on the mini-map close together.
Yeah, but Cam is at turn 10. And
oh, it was the other
Knightington.
Mercedes then. It was the other Mercedes. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've already seen it with Timo and Cam, the desync at turn 3, and Cam's tires just popped off mid-apex at turn 10, so I think Cam is really struggling with the desync. Hopefully he can still race against the other drivers, but yeah, it's really hurt him there, just mid-apex, his tire absolutely popping off. Very confusing indeed.
It is quite confusing, but we got the other Mercedes, the Scott, on a lap at the moment, currently sitting in P6 right now, as he passes the dreaded final few corners then, so we'll see what he does heading towards turn 16. Start, finish straight. He's got some time left to find, and I think he's found some time. Look at that! 117.181. He was in 4th place, I think, with a 117.6, I think it was. And now he's moved into 1st place and gone 6 tenths quicker. That is absolutely remarkable. Can anybody beat Scott's time?
Yeah, I mean, that was an absolutely massive improvement from him, but that is with the track evolution. It's, from what I felt, it's very heavy on this game, when you first get out at the very start of the session compared to the end. You could be looking at anywhere between 3 tenths to 6 tenths, so the track evolution is massive, and he's taken advantage of it. He's set the fastest time of the session so far. But Timo and Harry B are coming out of the pit lane. They're going to be on their outlaps, and they're also going to be looking to beat that 117.1 by Scott and try to steal this pole position in the 2nd pre-season race. And obviously that's all they're going to want, to impress everyone and show everyone that they have the pace. But they're also going to have to back that up in the race. It's not all about the one lap, it's about the consistency too.
Yep, it is, because some people I've seen in many leagues do very well in qualifying. They get near the top, but they just seem to be inconsistent in a race, either spin or get damage, and that's where points are not won in qualifying. You get points in the race, and the only time points are won in qualifying is sprint qualifying. And we talked about this last week, but we are introducing a sprint format because it was implemented into the F1 game. We've got 3 of them this season. We've got Miami, Britain, and we have got Brazil, which I think is going to be some very exciting tracks and good tracks where you can overtake. Obviously Miami, a new track on this year's game, so it brings another element of surprise. And I believe I need to double check how many score points. I think it's a top 8 that score points, but I'll need to double check with that, or it might be top 6 actually, I don't know, but we'll need to double check. But there will be sprint races, which adds another element of unpredictability. You don't have just to perform in one race, you have to perform in 2 races as well. And if you get damage in a sprint race, well, you don't have to pit in a sprint race unless you get damage, so you're in a lot of trouble already. But we're seeing people about to finish off their laps, and I think George is about to start his run. We have got, I think, Harry B starting his run as well. Purple set to 1 for the Alpine driver. I wonder if the game is telling lies or is actually true. Well, his time was close to Scott, so I think it's very true that Harry could be on for a good one here.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I've been flicking between Timo and Harry B, and that's a spin from Timo at turn 9. Just got on the power a little bit too early, and that is going to be his qualifying session over. He was only about 3/100ths up in the first sector, so he's really trying to push to try and make up the lap time in the last 2 sectors. But Harry B is about to finish out his lap. He was 2/10ths up coming through the middle sector, and he's got a purple sector too. He's going very fast on this final lap. I think he's going to be able to take pole position. Let's see, across the line, he dips into the 16s. A 16.9 from Harry B. That is extremely impressive, and he's clear by 2/10ths from Scott, and that's going to be pole position for the Alpine driver.
Well, you never know. We've got Shane and George on the run. We'll see if Shane sector 2 time can match. No, I don't think it's quick enough. He's only about 2/10ths up in the middle sector. We'll see if George can improve. Then he's 3/10ths up, but again, he's not going to do quite enough either. But we'll ride on board with him anyway as he goes up to the start-finish straight. He goes up into P14, and then we've got Shane, the final person, to cross the line. Maybe Lee might improve on his lap and Fraser too, but Shane up to the line. He can get into the top 10. That is pretty decent from Shane. Decent lap. Lee, he can't improve. So as you were saying, Harry B has pipped Scott by a few tenths of a second. Only man to get into the 1/16th. We haven't seen him in VSL before, but like I said, I have seen him in other leagues, and I said he is quick. Well, he is quick. Well, this lap time has definitely backed my theory perfectly.
Yeah, and I think you're dead right. Scott had that provisional pole time for a decent part of the session, but then Harry B was able to deliver when he needed to, and obviously he didn't make a mistake on his lap, unlike Timo, who sadly he spun at turn 9, just getting on the power a bit too early. And that turn 9 is definitely very tricky. Do you take it flat out, or do you try and lift and be a little more conservative? Obviously, he was being very aggressive into there. It hasn't paid off for him. He's going to be starting P3, but Harry B on pole position, the only man to dip into the 1:16s. And I've just spotted there, if you look at P8, Shane has got himself a 5-place grid penalty. I think he could have possibly made contact with another driver in the session, so that's going to set him back a few places.
I think he said in the chat more that he, when Alfa Romeo was pulling out of track and it hit him, and then a McLaren went into him, and it was a chain reaction, unfortunately. So, but there's nothing that he could do at the moment. But we'll go run through your order very quickly. So we've got Harry B on pole, then we got Scott, Timo, TL4, we got Cam, Lyo, Risky, Shane, Quinn and Lee round up your top 10, and we got Urbany, we got Newgarden, Gareth Hall, George, Fraser McKay, Speed Knighton, we got Yuri, Ryan Berry, Ahmed, and I didn't see who was last. I think it was George, I believe that was in last position. So, qualifying is now done. We're going to move over to the race. So, the drivers are near the back. Probably need to think differently in terms of their strategy, but they may go the same as their rivals as well. And interesting fact about the tyres, actually, the softs can last 10 laps, mediums last 18 laps, and the hards can last quite a chunk of the race, 26 laps. And usually if there's a safety car, that could change things massively. But like we said earlier, no safety car will be implemented in tonight's race, because it's all about the pace and how you can manage the pressure in tonight's race. And for those of you that are wondering when the tiers are going to be announced, it will be announced next week on who's going to be racing and what tier, and it will be streamed at the same time at 8 PM UK time as well. If I were you, in 2 weeks time, have both tiers on at the same time. Support both of our tiers, because it'll be absolutely amazing. We are about to get started once again. We have no standings to talk about, because obviously since it's a pre-season, but I'm going to throw the floor to you more just for a second. Which driver do you think should we keep an eye on? Obviously we had Harry B, we got Scott as well. Any other drivers that has impressed you and that could do well tonight? And also, which drivers need to step it up?
Well, yeah, just looking at that qualifying session there, obviously Timo with that spin, maybe we could see more spins like that, a little bit of inconsistency creeping in the race, and obviously it's a lot easier to spin with heavy fuel loads in the race compared to the lighter fuel loads that you get in the qualifying. I think TL44, I think he was down towards the bottom half of the grid, but he absolutely shot up towards the end of the session. So he managed to get that decent lap time in, and he could possibly be one to watch in this race, but it's all to play for in tonight's Grand Prix, and it really is anyone's game. But obviously Harry B with the strong showing in qualifying, let's hope that he can convert that into possibly a race win here tonight.
Yeah, indeed. We have got a mixture of tyre strategies. Well, most drivers from P1 to P6, P8 to P16, and also P19 and P20, they're all starting on the medium tyres. We'll go through the differences at the moment before we get started. Speed Risky has gone for a bit of a spin as I went on board with him. He's starting on the softs. Then we've got Yuri on the softs as well, and then we've got Ryan Berry on the hards. Now, formation laps. They have to do the whole formation lap on this game. So they got to drive to their grid spot completely by themselves, and they can position the car wherever they like as long as within their grid space. And if they don't position it right, like the game tells them to, they will be disqualified from the session. They will be pulled a little bit back, and they will be on cold tire. There's someone that just had a bit of a spin there, and he's just been disqualified from the formation lap. But anyway, hopefully people have got their positions right at this stage. A few more disqualifications as well. It took me a while actually to get the formation lap right on this game, so it takes practice. It's a whole different skill, and that's the same with the pit stops as well. As we're about to get started, all 20 cars have lined up on the grid. Tony is doing another last two challenge. Can he replicate what he did last week and into a win? We'll have to wait and see. The cameras are going very weird today, but the 5 red lights are on here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, and already we got a drive-through penalty from Speed Risky, but let's see who has the best start. Timo's had a cracking start. What's happened to Harry? I do not know, but Scott and Timo make their way towards turn number 1 as they make their way with a sweeping left-hander in towards turn 2 and 3. Harry B has dropped all the way down to 6th position. We've got a few spinners as well. We got Urbany, as we saw a bit of an end plate from, I think, Yuri as well, down the back in 17th position. A lot of other changes as well. Lee's down to 12th place. Pete's up to 11th. He had a good start. George is from the near the back. He's moved up into 9th place. Harry B has just got past Risky once again on Wooly as he goes past it towards turn number 7. And Risky covers him off really, really well on those soft tyres. But quite a bit of argy-bargy. That Speed Quinn go off in the background. So already a bit of drama already going on at lap 1 here in Spain. But it is Timo that takes the race lead on the opening lap.
Yeah, and I think one thing worth pointing out there, Cam's desync has followed him to the main Grand Prix itself. He's been absolutely barged off of the track from everyone in sight. Obviously no one else can see him, so that's really a shame from him. I think he's going to have to come into the pit lane and retire from the session. So yeah, just a game glitch ruining his pre-season race, and you never want your pre-season races to go like that, so it's a shame to see him come into the pit lane and retire. But Harry B off of the start. Obviously the starts are a lot more tricky on this game. You can get wheel spin in pretty much any gear, and it's really difficult to practice them and get them pinpoint perfect every single race, and you can see how much that can cost you. So he's fallen all the way down to P6. He's now stuck behind Speed Risky, who has got that drive-through penalty for jumping the start. That is not a great way to start off your race. Thankfully, he had started on the soft tyres, so...
sorry to cut you off. We saw Fraser and the Red Bull, I wasn't sure which Red Bull it was Tony, made a bit of contact into turn 7 and 8, and I think a few people were caught up in that. That was a bit of a shame, unfortunately. That's allowing a few more drivers to make up positions. We saw earlier on, whilst you were talking about battles, Gareth Hall made his way past Speed Newgarden and the start finish straight up into P7. P had a bit of a moment, and Ahmed is out of the race. He's out of the race already, and it's only lap 2, and it's the dreaded turn 12 complex that he got caught under, which is a bit of a shame. So that is his race done and dusted. Hopefully that doesn't affect what tier he's going to be in at the moment, but there's certain drivers who I think could have showed a bit more pace, but we are very lucky to have reduced damage, not full damage tonight, so it could have been a lot worse. Meanwhile, Lee's having a beautiful run against George through turn 3, heading towards turn number 4 then, as he clips to the right hand side, leaving as much space as he possibly can. Heading towards turn 5 now. Can he hold his line? Yes, he can. Lee is up into 9th position in the Williams, and to be fair, he's doing a much better job than I was expecting, so fair play to the Williams driver at the moment. Bear in mind that these drivers, they won't be in the cars they are in tonight. Obviously, they were given a form to fill out, and they were given preferences as to what teams they want to be in, and then it will all be decided next week. Obviously, they had to choose a car for tonight's lobby, but there we go. But DRS is now activated. The only ones within DRS range is TL44. I think I've learned the way to pronounce it thanks to Moore, so thank you very much. Harry B's also in DRS. We got George Shane, Abini, who's in a DRS train, which is great to see as well, as Scott is saying the fastest lap, and he could catch up to Timo. He's gained quite a few attempts due to DRS alone, but he's already gained a bit of pace. Risky is serving his drive-through, so that is that done and dusted. He left it a bit too late, didn't he? Because that was the last lap he could have done it.
Yeah, he's just trying to continue on, get some racing in while he can to really show what his racecraft is, how he goes side by side with the other drivers. But you can see a lot of drivers have spread out from each other. You can see a 3.3 second gap between P5 and P6, as you can also see Scott very close to the back of Timo, who obviously had that amazing start from P3 to P1, almost broke the DRS to Scott, but Scott has managed to get that gap back down. He's now in the DRS, and TL44 is going to try and catch up to those two, and we could see a three-way battle for the race win. But yeah, it looks like Harry B around the outside of Leo at turn 10. Leo has the outside line for turn 12. He's actually able to hang on to that position, carrying more speed there with the flowing line around the outside. He moves up into P4, but I think he's going to be under quite a bit of pressure on this main straight.
Yeah, I have to say, superb racing between the Red Bull and the Alpine driver. Harry B kind of reminds me of Fernando Alonso. He never gives up, and he's going to go on the attack again as he head towards turn number 1. DRS wide open, and no problem there from him as he's up into 4th place. Nice comeback from him, not far behind the leaders. Urbany and Shane had a bit of contact there into turn number 1. That's not good, unfortunately, but Abini's up to P9 anyway. I don't believe Schewers will be in action for the pre-season races, but they will be given warnings based on obviously what happened tonight, based on what not to do when the pre-season, well, the full season starts in a couple of weeks' time, and beginning of August. As oh, is it I swear safety car was turned off.
Yeah, either
is it VSC or safety car?
I can't tell. In the top left, it just says yellow flag in all sectors. But yeah, I don't think the safety car has come out the pit lane. Yeah, I think someone possibly could have made a mistake there.
Tony is a lobby host, but it's fine. It's fine. Luckily, it's only a VSC. So I just see the board. I was riding on board with Tony, so it's a VSC. I don't think a VSC should have happened, but we happened anyway. This could be the chance for maybe some people. Actually, no, it will be too early for people to do their pit stops, because the optimal time for the people to pit on the mediums will be lap 15. So they will all have to stay out. As I was wondering why people were going slowly. it's annoying on this game that it doesn't tell you if it's a VSL or a safety car. You have to look at the boards, but hopefully that's something that Co-Masters will fix as Lee goes side by side with Newgarden into turn 1, and he was too early on the power there as Lee's dropped down to P13 and now 14th now. So all his hard work is pretty much gone undone with that mistake, unfortunately. He had him, but he just couldn't make it stick, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Speed Quinn side by side with George into turn 4 and into turn 5 and 6. And Quinn, oh, I thought he had in there, but George is not giving up without a fight. Let's hope they don't bang wheels too much and send each other into a spin. Oh, that's very tight heading towards turn 8, and there's also Ferrari right in front of them. Quinn just about holds on. Tony's also in the picture as well. He's right in the middle of this. He's got past George. Is he going to get past Quinn heading towards the new high-profile turn 10? Oh, this is very exciting, isn't it? Two high-profile drivers battling against each other, heading towards turn 12 now. Is he going to get past two cars? Well, Tony says you can. Bravo, Tony. He was last week's race winner for a reason, and he makes double overtakes like that. Incredible. Risky's out the race. Where did he bin it? I'm trying to. That is. I think. I'm just trying to look at the map. I think that was about turn 5-6 area, but I believe we have. Oh, I just missed the board. Full safety car, more. Full safety car.
Well, there you go. We didn't think the safety car would be making an appearance this race, but it looks like the full safety car has been deployed. Now, this could be a massive change in strategy compared to what we're expecting. A lot of drivers who haven't made their stop yet are on the medium compound of tires, so we could see them coming in for the hards, or will they try and hold out, possibly extend this stint and maybe even go to the soft tires at the end. I expect a lot of drivers to be going for the hard tires, and Timo is in the third sector. He's getting ready to come towards the pit lane. And it's going to be interesting to see, especially with the top three, is there going to be some split strategies? Are they all going to go with the same strategy? This safety car is really going to change up this race. And as you can see, Timo is going to come into the pit lane along with Scott and TL44. So I think most drivers will be coming in for those higher tires, which they'll hopefully take to the end of the race unless there's another safety car.
26 laps of hards could go on for. This is not ideal for people that want to go in now because it will just about get to the end of the race. But, you know, you've got to have a plan A, a plan B. There were people that probably weren't expecting a safety car to happen, and now they have a safety car. It's what they do when it happens. As someone's got a drive-through. I think, was that Fraser? No, that was Lee actually that got a drive-through. So he can't serve it under safety car, so you have to serve it at the end. 3 drivers have chosen to stay out. We've got Newgarden, Quinn, and Speed Knighton. Everyone else has opted to go on to different tyres. Now, interestingly, we've got people on different strategies. Not what I would have done. There's a lot of people there's quite a few people that go for 2 stops. So Fraser's on the softs. He pitted a few laps ago because he got damaged. Gav Hall, he pitted on the safety car. He's on the softs. And so is Tony. Very, very interesting. Is that what you would have done? Because I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I think the strategy is a bit all over the place for some people. Obviously, I think in the opening 3 or 4 laps, a lot of people got damaged, and that really messed with their strategies. But this was, for a lot of people, a chance to reset, to get on those hards, be on the same strategy as everyone else, and compete for the position that they're actually in. But you can see there with Gareth Hall, with Tony, Ryan Berry, Speed Racer, and Fraser, they're all on different compounds of tires, and I really don't see that working out for them too well, unless of course there is another safety car. But you can see Fraser, he's just retired from the session. That's at turn 1. I don't know if he's binned it at turn 1 under safety car.
He's not moving. He's not moving, because if he retired on track, he would have moved. So that is an unfortunate crash for Fraser. Another race where he's DNF'd, unfortunately. So that is, again, a bit unfortunate for him that we didn't get to see his true pace within the pre-season races. But What can you do? Ah, Tony, very, very cheeky. He went on the softs to get the mandatory different tyre compound done, and he's gone for another set of the hard. I think he start. I'm not sure if he started on mediums or hards, but if he started on hards, then what he tactically did was okay. But is he going to try and make his way from 17th to near the front? Well, he did it last week, so it's a bold strategy from him. But his tyres are fresh and could get to the end from here as well. Can you double check for me if he started on mediums? Because if he started on hards, then that is a bold and good strategy for the Red Bull driver.
I think everyone apart from Speed Risky was either on the softs or the mediums, not 100% which Tony was on, but I think since he did start on either the mediums or the softs, that might have been an error on his side. Possibly could have put on the wrong tyres coming into the pit lane there.
That's probably why then. But he's on the hards now. He's chosen the right tyre. Luckily, it didn't happen when there was no safety car, because otherwise he would have been miles behind. So, Tony, you're very, very lucky. So, here comes Newgarden. He's going to be leading the safety car, the Aston Martin safety car for tonight. And he's already chosen to hold the field up, heading towards turn number 12. And we've got cars who have just fitted, like Timo, for example, like TL44, that want to get the pounce earlier on. Don't count out Scott and Howie B. That safety car has definitely saved their bacons here tonight. So watch out for those two. Leo or Leo, I will get his name right eventually. But anyway, let's watch Newgarden. He's already pulled away. He's got a bit of oversteer heading towards the final corner. And both Quinn and Timo have got past him already across the start-finish straight. Pete as well, he can't get past. So people on older tyres are finding it a bit more difficult than the rest, as Timo's already got past Speed Quinn, or has he? Heading towards turn number 1 and 2. To the right-hand side line they go. Heading towards turn number 3. Incredible racing from those two as well. Timo has got to make sure he handles the pressure, and they both make contact. Oh, that was a huge crash. TL44 is out of the race. Oh my God, there was so much that went on there. Not good racing at all, but it was not much some people could have done, unfortunately. It's now P that's your race leader. Scott is now in the box seat to take the race lead from P. So here he goes, heading towards turn number 9 then, which is really hard on this year's game. But that was just a very awful crash. I thought that it was going to be incredible racing, but it just backfired.
Yeah, and I think that's the absolute most defeating feeling when you're racing someone who isn't even on the same strategy as you. Obviously Speed Quinn was on a different strategy, still had one more stop to make, and Timo was just trying to make that pass, get himself back into the lead, and then to also take out TL44, who was another driver who was battling for the race win. It's just super defeating for them and a real shame. Hopefully TL44 has shown enough to hopefully solidify a position in the league, but a real shame for those two drivers. He will be in the league,
it's just what tier? That is the question. Everyone that signed up will be in the league as long as they've shown that their commitment. And Leo has gone for a spin now. Leo down in turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, and he almost took out his teammate there, trying to correct his car, get it pointing in the right direction. But we now have Gareth Hall trying to go around the outside at turn 7, and Newgarden has left him absolutely no room, was not having that whatsoever, squeezed him onto the grass. Thankfully, it didn't end out too badly for Gareth Hall, and he's going to try and go for another move in this third sector, and it looks like it's wide for Newgarden, so Gareth Hall is going to try the outside line at turn 12, and is he able to make this move stick with his fresh soft compound tyres? It doesn't look like it. Newgarden with the 10 lap old mediums is really putting up a fight up against Gareth Hall.
Have to say, on older tyres, that is pretty good from Newgarden. He's showing what he could do, of course. And Timo's had a moment. or he got passed by Shane. I'm not entirely sure, but Timo's now down into 11th position, not where he would have wanted, but he got caught up, I think, in the drama. But we got Shane and George going for it. We got Newgarden going for it against Gav. There's just so much fighting going on, and after all this, Pete in P1 is still holding on to that race lead despite being on the older tyres. And if there's another safety car, Pete could be right in contention for the race win. Who would have thought I would have said that on F122? Well, I just said it. Anyway, Shane trying to get past both Timo and George, and he did that up to 9th position. We got Beanie and Cam having a bit of a battle heading towards turn 6 and 7 as Beanie gets past Ryan Berry quite nicely as he tries to chase down Cam now for P6. They're on similar age tyres as well, same delta, it's just a tyre management as well. And one thing to point out, ERS management. A lot of people already in the front lot especially have used up quite a lot of their ERS. I'm talking about Cam, Urbany, Ryan Berry, the ones who have been involved in battles as well. They had a chance to save some during the safety car, but on this game it's so hard. I think this track's a lot easier, but around some other tracks a lot more difficult due to the high throttling speed, as Tony has been passed by George. He may have had a bit of a moment, unfortunately, but Harry and Scott going for the net race lead as Harry gets the job done as he's up into a net P1. He started on pole, remember, had a bit of a bad start, but the safety car has saved him a little bit. Well, it saved him quite a lot, actually. It's put him in huge contention for the race victory. And, well, if that's saying put me in tier 1, well, that's definitely going to put him in tier 1. Timo's got past George up into P10, and position is gained, actually. Well, Ryan Berry did gain 10 places, but he's lost 1 as Shane has got past Ryan Berry up into 8th place. So, biggest gainer, obviously. We won't talk about that too much until everyone has done their pit stops. So obviously, we still have 3 drivers that will probably have to pit one final time. Lee will have to pit again, so will Gareth. So, that could change things quite massively. But I think Gareth could expect another safety car. Is that why potentially he's gone on the softs?
Yeah, I think that must be. He must be expecting another safety car because it is on standard, and with the safety car on this game, it's extremely sensitive. So I think that's definitely a bit of a smarter strategy. But Harry B is now going to try and pass Speed for the lead. You can see Speed's red light is flashing. He's going to have absolutely no straight line speed, and he gets overtaken by the Mercedes and the Alpine, and the Alpine just about fending off from Scott. So Knighting losing 2 positions in just 1 turn, but that is to be expected. He is on those 13 lap old mediums, and he'll be looking to make a pit stop onto hard compound tyres soon enough.
Yeah, he will at some point, as the optimum window for pitting is in a few laps time, but due to the fact that it was a safety car, well, you can extend it a little bit longer, but it may be worthless due to the undercut. I still don't get why he didn't pit, because the hards could have got to the end, but he probably thinks that him pitting a lot later, his tyres will be more durable, he could push a bit more towards the end, and like we were saying earlier, there could be another safety car. So Pete will be expected coming soon, so will Newgarden. It's Cam and Gav going side by side in towards turn 10 and in towards turn 11 now. Nicely held goes Gareth Hall there. Cam almost got Gareth Hall in a heartbeat there, and it just goes to show that Gav's tyres are starting to die out a little bit. Don't forget the softs can only last 10 laps. I think we have another safety car as Gav timed that very nicely in the pits. That was so lucky. Yes, the other safety car. Cam obviously could stay out, but that was a lifesaver for Gareth and Newgarden especially. But yeah, if that isn't perfect timing, I don't know what is for Gareth Hall. And more, if you're trying to speak, you're on mute, my friend.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, I was just saying that is truly perfect timing for Gareth Hall. Came into the pit lane as soon as the safety car was released, and that's because of his teammate Speed Racer made a mistake at turn 1. I think he might have gotten on the power a bit too early, but this is an absolute lifesaver for Gareth Hall. He's played that to perfection, very lucky. He was able to use those soft tyres to the maximum, to gain a lot of positions, and now this safety car reduces the time that he has to spend in the pit lane compared to the drivers around him. So yeah, I think he's done really well with that strategy, but he's in P9 now, and he's got plenty of positions to make up. And the one factor that he has on his side is that he has about 7 lap fresher tyres than most of the grid ahead of him.
So he could be a threat to get the race victory. He could, you know, because he could be on the fresher tyres. It will definitely get to the end. And what's most important, it is at the optimum time where you should pit anyway to go on the hard, to be on the best strategy. So, bravo to him. I don't know why New Garden's gone on the sauce. Maybe he may do the similar strategy, or maybe it was by accident. We'll see. The safety car's also saved Pete's bacon. He's not going to drop as many positions. I know he's going to drop a few, but not as much if obviously he pitted under normal racing conditions. As Pete goes on to hards. Now, pit stops are on immersive for most people, so they will have to press a button, and obviously if they get damaged, but if they press them too late, then it could have huge repercussions. But if you press at the right time, then you can have a faster stop. I had a stop in career mode. Actually, no, it was in a league race actually around, can't remember what race, I did it a few days ago. Oh, it was around France, yes, where I did a 2.2 pit stop, and all it took was absolute practice to get it right, and then you need to get the right buttons and stuff like that. But your order then, since everyone has stopped, Harry B is in P1, Scott in P2, 2 new drivers to the lead, P1 and P2. Very, very nice to see. Cam in P3. Well, he had a bit of moments early on in the race, remember, due to that D-Sync. I think, hopefully, it's fixed for him, and he can race. To be honest, Cam is showing that you do not give up. Ryan Berry in 4th, Timo 5th, Tony 6th, Shane 7th, Pete in 8th, Leo in 9th, Gaffel in 10th. Newgarden will have to pick one more time, same with George. Urban in 12th, Quinn in 14th, and Lee in 15th. So, interesting. And we've got a few more drivers that will have to catch up to the safety car. But I did not think Cam would be in 3rd. Again, that is another driver that the safety car has definitely worked for.
And I think D-Sync strikes once again, because on my screen he is down in P14, just rounding out turn 9, and now he's P1. He's all over the place, and yeah, it's, so like I said before.
He's P3 for me, so he's not decent for me, I believe, but that's going to be odd, trying to commentate on Cam. Well, more trying to commentate on Cam. I'll be fine at the moment. And he even said in chat that he's P3 somehow. Cam, if you're watching the stream, by the way, are you actually P3 or are you P14 on more screen? I don't know, but we will see anyway. Hopefully he's P3, because otherwise we're going to have a bit of a nightmare trying to commentate on Cam throughout the rest of this race. But yeah, safety car will be coming in, I think, very, very soon. We'll just wait for Quinn and Lee to catch up as well. Newgarden, Urbany and George have time penalties. We've got Ryan Berry on all mediums. Do you think Ryan Berry should have pitted?
Yeah, Ryan Berry, it looks like Timo finds himself in a bit of a similar position here. Once again, a driver ahead of him on an alternate strategy. Hopefully it doesn't end out like the last. But yeah, I was just noticed that Ryan Berry, he left a massive gap between himself and Scott. So I think Cam is actually in P3, but he's completely invisible on my screen, so that would be very fun to watch.
It's just your end, because Cam's confirmed in chat that he is in P3. So
well, we love the F1 games, but yeah, Timo, he's got this safety car. He's got himself back up into P4 and or P5 on your screen, and I think he definitely has a good shout at possibly winning this race. So safety car in this lap. Let's see what he can do.
Yes, so we are about to get underway once again. We had one VSC and we had one safety car. This is our 3rd VSC stroke safety car of the afternoon, as George and Speed Quinn had a little bit of a switcheroo. But let's follow Harry B as he's leaving it a bit late, but he's going now. Or is he? He took a bit of while to get heat into his tyres, and that's allowing Scott to get a beautiful run in towards turn number 1. He goes to the left as well. Can may have something to fight for as well, but Scott almost got him and make a little bit of contact, but not too much. We've got a few spinners in the background. We've got Tony that's off, Shane that's off as well. Ryan Barry was dropped down for 4th attempt, so his choice to go onto the mediums early on in the race, unfortunately, has backfired sadly. But we got an Alpine in P1, 2 Mercedes in P2 and P3, Timo on the back of this in P4. He was trying to fight Cam for P3 then towards turn 6 and 7, but to no avail, unfortunately. George on those softs, which will probably die soon. He's got to get past Shane and Leo very, very quickly. As New Garden Urbany, oh, what's happened there? As Urbany has left the session, New Garden, I think they both made contact once again. I don't know what's happened there, but unfortunate for those two. Oh, like Leo's out. Leo's out of the race. Oh, God, no. Another safety car. Oh, my goodness. That throws a whole spanner in the works for a lot of people. Will they choose to stay out, or will they opt to go onto the medium compounder tyres?
Yeah, that's the standard safety car setting for you, just absolutely coming out at a moment's notice. But yeah, it looks like a couple of people coming into the pit lane, including Gareth Hall and George. Be interesting to see what tyres they go on to, because with the new tyre regulations, you only get one set of medium compound of tyres.
Yes.
If they go onto those mediums, they're either going to be worn or they're going to try and stretch those softs to the end. It's going to be interesting to see what tyre compounds they go for. But yeah, Harry B leading the race with what I assume is the Mercedes in P2 and 3, and Timo in P4, just one spot off of that podium position, and it would be quite a good recovery if he's able to make it up into that position. But yeah, I think the leaders actually missed the pit lane once the safety car came in. I'm not 100% sure on that, so we'll be able to see. Maybe they'll chance it on softs or mediums.
Yeah, because there's some people, don't forget, that started on the hard compounder tyres, so they could go on to mediums fine. So Tony, George, they're going to be on the good grip, but can they get to the end? I don't know. But I just want to see if anyone has got any mediums left, because if they do, they have a box seat. If any of them do not have mediums left, then they're going to be, well, having to face the hard compound of tyres situation as well. Now, bear in mind that we do have a Patreon page that you could go and check out, where we have a variety of different tiers where you could get loads of different benefits if you subscribe to them. So make sure you check them out. I will try and find the link. It may be in the description, actually. No, it's not. And I'll try and see if I can get someone to put that link either in the chat or in the description if you want to check that out. Got quite a few people in the chat as well. Let's have a look at the chat, actually, because there's not much going out on track at the moment. We've got Ardwolf in the chat, who's rooting for Shane, I believe. We've got Casper as well. Hello, Casper. We have got Nate Clark as well, who's a regular to the streams I at least commentate on, at least. So nice to see you there as well. Let us know your predictions, guys, in the chat. Who do you think is going to win this race? Who do you think is going to get on the podium? And, well, with this third safety car of the evening and the fourth safety car / VSC, that's brought more people into contention. Pete's back in this. So is Quinn, after having a bit of a moment in the second safety car restart. It just changed the full course of the race, and I do hope that we don't have any instance in the safety car restart this time. Touch wood. Safety car should be in this lap, I believe, but we will have to wait and see. Harry B will lead the safety car once again. So will Scott. Pretty much the top four remain exactly as they are. It's just the order below that has changed.
Yeah, and obviously I've just noticed there, Nighting with the 4-lap-old hard tyres, I should say. He's on 8-lap fresher tyres than the cars around him, and he can really use that to his advantage on this safety car restart, because one of the most important things on the safety car restart is the traction you get out of the final turn. And if you can get a good traction, good restart, you can gain some track position, get those heat into your tyres, and hopefully hold off the drivers behind you for as long as you can. So yeah, I think Nighting is definitely going to have a good chance on the safety car restart, but only time will tell.
Yeah, exactly. So, Moore has predicted that Speed Nighting is going to do well in P5. Well, we'll have to wait and see then. As Harry, can he get a good restart? He did last time, he held the lead. But will Scott be able to take advantage? I think Harry's going to play a lot differently compared to the last restart, and he has. But Scott has gained a lovely toe heading towards the start-finish straight. But Harry does not want Scott to have any slipstream at all. Here goes Cam. Oh, he's lagging quite a bit on my screen there. As, that's a bit unfortunate for Cam, but he's staying in P3 at the moment. As there is a bit of lagging going on at the moment. It might be a laggy lobby, unfortunately. But anyway, Shane is dropped down into 10th as both Ryan Berry and Tony got past him. So maybe the soft may not be the best idea. Gav's also on the soft as well, probably thinking that it could get to the end, but it's going to be a bit brave from those guys. But you never know, anything could happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Tony, is he going to go on the inside of Ryan Barrett? He does, up into 8th position, so he is definitely back in his race. Let's look at Moore's one to watch. P, well, he is closing in a little bit, but not by a lot. But maybe he's just being a bit patient and just waiting for the other guys to make a mistake. He was struggling last week in Mexico. He said he had a bit of a mare as he wanted to race again, but he's definitely having a better comeback race this week. Tony's got past Lee again. Timo has got past Cam. Timo's now up to 3rd.
Yeah, and obviously I sadly don't get to enjoy that overtake, but yeah, Nighting, I think he didn't have the best restart there, even with the fresher tyres. I think he's now behind Cam. He's going to be in the DRS, which will be enabled next lap. So you can see a lot of these drivers have to make these overtakes without the DRS, so it is quite tricky for them, but they're making it work while they can. And Timo is currently 1.1 seconds off of Scott, so he's going to have to push quite hard. As you can see, he's already down to under 50% ERS, pushing as hard as he can to get within the DRS of the top two and continue the battle for the race win. So I think it's been a great recovery from him, and I assume he's going to keep on pushing for the last 11 laps of this race, which are hopefully uninterrupted by the safety car.
Well, hopefully we don't get any more. Fingers crossed. I'm going to touch wood this time, but saying that, they probably might. But we're doing good so far. It's very, very nice. The drivers have probably learned from their mistakes at the moment. We're only down 13 drivers, and if it's a normal league race at VSL, then, well, the top 12 will score points, and only one driver would not get points. And Urbany, I believe, has left the session, so I think everyone that's finishing would have scored points anyway, which is great to see. As we're about to start lap 23 out of 33, we'll have 11 laps to go right now. DRS is enabled then once again, so once we head towards turn 9 sort of area, that is when we'll see its full effect. But anyway, Tony versus Speed Quinn. Tony to the right, Quinn to the left. Who's going to be the one to take full advantage as they head towards turn 2 and then eventually towards turn 3? Well, it looks like it is the Red Bull driver of Tony who moved himself up into P6 on those mediums. Well, it is the softer tyre, but will it be the most durable? Quinn's got the more durable tyre, so watch out for him towards the end of the race. Starts to close up to Tony a bit more. Same with Lee as well, Ryan Berry. And we got a huge DRS train starting to form. Gaff, I think, is a bit frustrated that he's stuck behind the hard runners, because if he doesn't get past these guys soon enough, well, being on the softs was probably worthless.
Yeah, and you can see it's quite surprising. The driver ahead of him, Ryan Berry, red light is flashing, but he goes side by side with Shane, also on the soft compound of tyres. Shane has the outside line for this next turn 12, and it seems the flowing line at turn 12 works a lot better. But Gareth with the inside at turn 13, he's able to maintain P9 coming into this turn 14 and 15 chicane. But Gareth, He's not using a lot of his ERS. He's being very conservative, but it looks like he's going to stop that trend right here and right now. He's going to make the overtake on Ryan Berry, and he's going to make the most of these soft tires. But Shane is coming right back at him down the inside into turn 1. It's a big lunge from Shane. He's able to get the car slowed down, and he makes that move stick up into P9. That's great racing from these two drivers.
We also saw a battle for the lead as well. We saw ADRT Scott, who got past Harry B there as well. Whilst it was happening, Scott, he timed that brilliantly as well. I would have loved to have seen it, but we'll see if Harry can fight back with the DRS this time. But I don't think he's going to be close enough to try and catch up to Scott, or maybe potentially here, but not quite. Maybe in the start-finish straight potentially as well. But don't forget, Cam does have that time penalty as well, down in 4th place, so he's going to drop down quite a bit if he's not careful. Let's see how many penalties he's got. He's got 3 seconds. Oh, Pete's out! Oh no, I was saying Pete has had a good race and he's binned it. Pete's gonna blame me now. I'm sorry, Pete. I believe that's another safety car. Let me have a look. I think it is. Oh, if you had softs left, would you go on them?
I think if you did have a fresh set of soft tires at about 9 laps and only about 8 or 7 of racing, I think the soft tire is now the way to go, unless you only have used tires left. But we get to once again see the nice familiar sight of the safety car after sadly knighting. He wasn't able to make the DRS of the top 4, fell off a bit after that, and I think he was under quite a bit of pressure from Tony, and sadly made that miss the final sector. He's going to be out of this Grand Prix. But you can see Scott, Harry B, Timo, and I are all still on the hard tires, and I think that's because they missed the pit lane once the safety car came out. So they could be at a bit of a disadvantage if one of them decides to stay out and the other two box. The other two are going to feel a world of pain because they are going to fight in quite a bit of traffic.
George, drive-through penalty, speeding on the safety car. I believe he got that earlier on as well, but Scott and Cam, they're going to be a huge disadvantage because one of them will lose a lot of time due to the double stack. So, I don't know, maybe one of the Mercedes will be forced to stay out. No, they're both going in anyway. Hopefully they won't lose too much time then. Where's Tony? Tony's past turn 10 now. Now, don't forget, they are all under Delta at the moment because obviously the leader has not caught up to the safety car. So, maybe the leaders will be okay. Timo is going on to the hards. We got Scott and Harry B there, relying astern 1 and 2. Timo in 3rd. Tony going towards the start-finish straight is going to be insanely close. I don't know who's going to come out ahead of it, if it's Cam or Tony, but that was so lucky for Cam. If it was any other situation, well, like weather, for example, the Mercedes would have lost out. But yeah, so we got Mercedes 1 and P4 and Tony in P5. So again, the top 4 remain unchanged, even though it's in a different order to what you see on the 3rd safety car. The 4th safety car we've had this race. I think the maximum you can have on a 50% race is 5. I think we have 5 slots already, so it should be the final one, but I don't know. They may have changed it on this game. I don't know. We're on lap 26 of 33 anyway. Oh my god, this race has been a strategy of, oh, it's going to be the medium to hard or soft to hards to so many people have made so many stops. Let's check at the stops actually. 2 stops for our top 3. Cam has made 3 stops. Tony has made 4. Quinn has made 2. Lee has made 4. Gal's made 4. Ryan Berry's made 3. Shane has made 3. Urbany has made 3. And George has made 4. So, yeah, nobody's made 1 stop in this race out of the runners that are still here.
Yeah, the strategies are a bit all over the place at this stage. But yeah, I was lucky there from Cam to just about get ahead of Tony, I think. I think he's in P4 now.
Yeah, he is.
And there you go. So the driver is getting ready for the safety car restart. And can Scott lead away a good restart? He's on those fresh soft tires, which should hopefully be warm enough now for the safety car restart.
Yeah, hopefully they do as well. Well, they are going to be warmer because they're on the softest grip, and it is around about 0.6 faster than the mediums, about 1.3 seconds faster than the hards. Only person that's not on the softs is Herbally, but he's probably left the session anyway. So here we go then. Look at Tony's restart on cam. That was absolutely beautiful from the Red Bull drivers. They make their way towards turn 1. Lee, unfortunately, has had an awful restart. Timo's had a good restart. Harry not having a good restart as well. Timo made his way past Harry into turn number 1. Very nice indeed. Gareth and Speed Quinn going side by side there into turn number 3 there. We've had a bit of a spinner. That was Lee, unfortunately. Has had a bit of a moment in towards turn 4. Oh no! Quinn and Gareth have made contact, unfortunately. That was a bit of damage there. And that is Quinn out of the race. Oh my god. If we get another safety car, I'm literally gonna walk away from the stream right now. Only joking, but I think we ran out of safety cars, so I think we would be okay. But I don't know what happened with Harry there, because he just got caught unawares. Tony had a good restart as well, and so did Timo. But no, speaking of Tony, as I said, that he spun.
Yeah, that's a shame from Tony. He was looking so good after that restart on cam, moving up into P4, was looking to challenge the top guys, but then has that spin at turn 10. Wasn't sure if that was related with cam or not, and you can see the driver ahead of him, Ryan Berry, has a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 15 there, and that has caused Tony to lose his front wing. His race goes from bad to worse, and he is now plumb last with no front wing. And I don't think could get one. I don't think things could get worse for him.
Yeah, that is absolutely awful there. But you only have a few laps to go as well, so you're going to lose a chunk of time. But luckily, the drivers will probably be relieved it's a pre-season race. If it was not a pre-season race and a regular race, they'll be even more disappointed. But I have to say, for some of these drivers, I really do hope that the driving standards improve, because we do not want to see some instance like that happen in the real life racing in 2 weeks' time. I really don't, but yeah, but it happens, unfortunately. But I think I'm just saying, I'm looking at the Twitter chat and Cam's saying he's sorry to Tony. So I wondered there was desync there from Cam. Oh, is there? Lee's gone to a spin, but yeah. So it must have been Cam and Tony made contact, but at least Cam apologised on about Tony. So good on Cam. If you realise you make a mistake, you got to own up, and that's exactly what he did. But Cam's now got to focus on the rest of the race now. No more safety cars to rely on. It's just pure pace. Literally any one of those top 3 could win it. We are down to 11 drivers in this Spanish Grand Prix, and those are the, well, technically 10 because everybody's left the session, but the top 11 drivers, well, they either did not get involved in carnage or they got involved in carnage and still in this race.
Yeah, and I think the top 3 have done a good job of avoiding that. Obviously, there's been quite a few strategies up and down the grid. There's been points where, oh, and that looks like Lee. No, I think he's just come into the pit lane there. He's retired from the session. He was quite far back after that spin at turn 9. And obviously, that's going to be curtains for him. But yeah, I think the top 3, after all they've been through, especially Timo, recovering after that incident with Speed Quinn.
Oh, it's Harry!
Yeah, you're right.
It's Harry! Oh no! What has happened to Harry B? He was looking so comfortable battling with Scott earlier, but he's had a bit of a moment. I literally do not know what's happened. That is absolutely gutting for him, but hopefully that doesn't give him a bad vibe, because to be honest, Harry has still driven absolutely amazing today, but he's still in 4th position, bear in mind, so it could be worse. But yeah, a bit of a shame from Harry B there. I thought it was one of the other Alpines, but no, it was him, so bit of a shame. But that means we now got a 2-car fight for the lead. By the way, massive shout out to all of you watching in the chat. We've got the highest peak we had so far tonight was around about 24 people, so massive shout out to you all. Probably the highest amount of viewers that have watched a VSL stream, so Thank you very much. Still got a few laps to go. Is that Scott? Oh my goodness, it is. Scott's out. He lost it in turn. Oh my God, that is a weird place to crash. Safety car. Oh my God, we're going to get a fine on that safety car. Oh my goodness.
And I think the drivers might be getting a bit too attached to the safety car. But yeah, I just saw it there. Scott on the exit of turn 9 was pushing so hard. He wanted that race win against Simo. But, you know, he's just pushing that little bit too hard. Just overstepped the limit, got on the throttle a bit too early at turn 9, and we saw the exact same with Timo in qualifying, so it's definitely an easy mistake to make, but that's sadly going to be his race over, but I'm sure he's going to have turned a few heads with the performance that he's put in tonight, but it looks like Harry, Timo, and I think Cam will be battling it out on what will most likely be the final lap of the race. So it'll be a three-way fight for them.
Absolutely incredible. I think on this game, I think you required 2 laps. I don't know, but I have done a final lap dash for the finish after the safety car before. That was kind of interesting, but again, we'll have to wait and see. But that's kind of helped the top 4. Gareth's still in this. He's had quite a bit of wars in this race, but it shows that he does not give up. Great stuff. Fair play to the 8 drivers that are still in this race, by the way. I have to say, fair play to you. And I can confirm as well, I just found out as well, I didn't notice ghosting was off. So that's probably what has caused some incidents. I hope ghosting is on for the regular season, but obviously we will have to double check in just a second. But safety car coming in. Is it? Oh, I didn't see the oh yeah, safety car is coming in this lap, and well, to get you warmed up for 2 weeks' time, I'll let you take this restart.
Well, I assume we have Timo, Cam, and Harry B in the top 3. No one else has had a real chance of catching up, apart from actually Gareth and Shane. So we're gonna have 5-way fight for the lead. Hopefully, we'll have to see though, and let's see what kind of restart Timo can get here. How late is he going to leave it? And he's going to try and get the jump on Harry, and it's a decent restart from him. Gareth also having a decent restart as well. He's going to pull alongside Harry, and is he going to be able to make a move down the inside into turn 1 as they bang wheels on their way down? He dives down the inside. Harry tries to hold it around the outside, and Gareth falls down to P5 there. So yeah, there you go. Not the best restart from Gareth there.
Well, he's still in P5 because obviously everyone else couldn't catch up to the safety car in time. So he was very lucky, but he's got to warm his tyres up again, unfortunately, as well. But we got Timo versus Cam for the race victory at this moment in time. But bearing in mind, Cam does have a 3-second time penalty, but he's still going to fight for it like no tomorrow, because you know what? You never know. He could pull it by 3 seconds, and the tyres are starting to degrade a little bit. Look at the amount of ERS that Cam's already used, by the way. He's all in about 14% used battery left to go. So I'm getting my words completely mixed up at the moment. We are heading towards the end of this Grand Prix as well, and I have to say, Timo has been one of those drivers that, I think the only driver in this race who has never put a foot wrong. He is kept pretty much out of trouble for the majority of the race and let the drama happen behind him. If he didn't have any safety cars, he would have probably run this race comfortably. But he's got a Cam breathing down his neck, going towards turn number 1. Tony has got the fastest lap of the race, quite a long time on at the moment. Shane has had a bit of a moment on the sausage curve, and by the way, we've had a debate on sausage curves on Twitter as well. Why are sausage curves there? They're absolutely ridiculous. It can lead to so many bad incidents, and that is exactly what happened there to Shane.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see, because he was doing so well, battling away with Gareth and Harry, obviously, and you know, I think Harry is just about outside of DRS of Cam, but obviously the DRS isn't going to be enabled because we're on the final lap, and I think I'll let you take it away since Cam is completely invisible on my screen.
Yeah, Thank you very much. So, past turn number 10 then. Heading towards turn 12 as I completely missed turn number 11. But there we go. But I don't think Cam's going to fight this too much. Because otherwise he's going to lose so much time to the cars behind. And he's going to lose... He'll probably drop down to 5th, I believe. But Timo, across the line, he didn't win the title last season. But he's going to put a statement to VSL that he wants to win it this season. Harry in P2 and Gareth, a well-deserved podium for him. Congratulations. Cam in 4th, Shane in 5th, Tony in 6th, Ryan Berry in 7th, and then Urbany in 8th. But he disconnects, I believe. Well, he might still be in the session, I don't know. And George in 9th place. And I have to say, fair play to all the drivers that have stuck by this, who even though we had incidents, who are still never gave up. Well, for some drivers, the incidents weren't their fault, but for some of the other drivers, let's just hope it improves for when we go racing in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and I mean, that is an absolutely amazing performance from Timo there. To have that spin in the early stage, a collision with Speed Quinn, and then, you know, with all those safety cars, it really shook everything up. And then I think for the second half of the race, he was around the front of the grid, and that mistake from Scott really solidified his win there. So he's going to take the victory. I think Cam was just 2 tenths off of a podium, so a shame he wasn't able to finish it off with the podium. But yeah, Gareth Hall getting onto that podium. Quite a surprise to see him up there. He had a bit of a funky strategy going onto the soft tires quite a few times, but he was able to make it work with all those safety cars, and he gets P3. And then Harry B, you know, he got that pole position. Sadly fell down to P2, but definitely a good race nonetheless.
Yes, we'll go through your order then. Not many finishers, but we'll go through them anyway. Tony, Timo. It all starts with a T-OK. Anyway, Timo is your winner. Howie B in 2nd, Gareth in 3rd, as Moore was alluding to earlier. Cam in 4th place, Shane in 5th, Tony 6th, Ryan Berry 7th, Urban in 8th, George in 9th, and your retirements. Be prepared, guys. There is a long list of retirements around Spain. We've got Scott, Lee, Speed Grin, Speed Knighton, Speed Newgarden, Leo, Speed Y Racer, TL44, Fraser McKay, Speed Risky, and N8, also known as Ahmed. So, yes. So, both pre-season races have complete. We had one in Mexico, one in Spain, and all that left. All that is left for the admins to do is to decide where all the drivers will be placed for the upcoming season, the first season where we will have 2 tiers. So, obviously for some people we didn't see their page due to the incidents, but for some drivers I think we have an idea on where they're going to go. But you never know, anything can happen.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously, I think it was 12 retirements in the end. That's not really what you want to see. But this is obviously what those pre-season races are for, to see where everyone is at with their driving, the racecraft, the one-lap pace, the consistency. And I think these pre-season races really help the admins decide what tiers everyone needs to go into. And I think after that performance from Timo, Cam, Harry and Gareth, I think they might be having a shout at getting into tier 1. But you know, only time will tell. Like you said, I think it was 2 weeks until the driver lineups are announced for each tier. So
a week, because the season starts on the 3rd of August, so it's got to be decided by then.
There you go. So just 1 week, and you get to see where everyone filters out in the 2 tiers. Exactly.
And to be fair, we do hope, again, like we said, the driver standings improve. But I have to say, record numbers of people have watched the stream tonight, so I'd like to say thank you very much, and hopefully you'll be able to stick with us as the season starts in a couple of weeks' time. And Mr. Evil Dragon will be back in the commentary box in a couple of weeks' time with me as well, commentating on Tier 1. And I'm very delighted, obviously, that you joined me tonight. More, did you enjoy yourself? And are you looking forward to Tier 2 in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, I mean, that was an absolutely riveting race to watch, and I just cannot wait for the actual season to get underway, where the stakes are so much higher. I'm sure the drivers are going to be tested to the absolute limit, and I personally cannot wait.
Awesome, brilliant job from you. Thanks to all the drivers, thanks to all the admins, and thanks to all you guys at home for watching. No race next week, but we will see you on the 3rd of August for the first ever round of VSL Season 9 on the F1 22 game on both tiers at the same time at 8 PM UK time around the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. I've been Jess Ball. More's been More Games YouTube, YT, sorry, and we will see you in just under 2 weeks' time. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.